The chairman of the PTF, my colleagues, the national coordinator, the DG and CDC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, Eid Mubarak, and welcome back. I would like to just make some clarifications as a result of what is being dominated in the space these days. The COVID-19 pandemic was an unanticipated emergency, and the world was taken completely unawares. Nigeria was not different, and to tackle this pandemic, different measures were taken, and this presidential task force is one of such measures by the government. As a ministry tasked with providing humanitarian interventions, disaster mitigation, and social interventions, we quickly set up a technical working group to operationalize the efforts of the ministry and complement the efforts of the PTF. The intervention was to help the vulnerable members of our society cushion the economic effect of the pandemic through the provision of social safety nets while building resilience for the future post-COVID-19. In recent days, as I mentioned, there have been rumors and innuendos and speculations around one of our key interventions during the pandemic lockdown, and that is the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, which was modified and implemented in 3 states following a March 29th presidential directive, whereby we are directed to continue to provide meal to primary school through the Nigerian Governors Forum, following which it was resolved that take-home rations remain the most viable option for feeding children during the lockdown. And this is a program that is also obtainable in other clients across the globe. So Nigeria is not in isolation in this regard. So it was a joint resolution of the ministry and the state governments to give out these take-home rations. And the stakeholders also resolved that we will start with the FCT, Lagos State, as well as Ogun State as pilot cases. For a state to take part in this program, as was originally designed, it must indicate interest in benefiting from the program through the signing of an MOU, which details responsibilities of the states and the federal government. And according to this MOU, the states are responsible for the implementation of the program, while the federal government provides funding. This is what has been obtainable ab initio since this program started in 2016. The federal government provides funding while the state governments implement these programs. So each take-home ration was valued at 4,200 naira. And that figure was not arrived at without proper consultations. It was not invented by the ministry. According to the statistics from the National Bureau for Statistics and the CBN, a typical household in Nigeria, or an average household in Nigeria, has between 5 to 6 members, with 3 to 4 regarded as dependent. And so each household is assumed to have 3 children. Now, based on the original design, as I mentioned, of the homegrown school feeding program, long before it was domiciled in the ministry, every child on the program receives a meal per day during school days. And this meal costs 70 naira per child. When you take 20 school days per month, it means a child eats food worth 1,400 naira per month. So therefore, 3 children will then eat food worth 4,200 naira per month. That was how we arrived at the cost of the take-home ration. And the agreement was that the federal government will provide the funding, as I mentioned, while the states will implement. And to ensure transparency in the process, we partnered with the World Food Program as technical partners, while we invited the EFCC, CCB, ICPC, DSS, and a host of NGOs to monitor this process. Track Nigeria monitored and gave daily updates validating the program. This is there on record. I dare say that very few government programs have witnessed such level of self-imposed scrutiny. As we speak, only 3 states have launched the program, and they remain Lagos, Ogun, and the FCT. In the FCT, 29,609 households were impacted. Lagos recorded 37,589 households, while Ogun State had 60,391 households, making a total of 124,589 households impacted between May 14, 2020 and July 6, 2020. So kindly disregard the rumors of millions and billions being peddled by rumor mongers. I also want us to note the second issue around the media space, which is also untrue and unfounded. And that is the statement attributed to me, whereby it was alluded to that I said every Nigerian received palliative. This is not true, and this was not what I said. I remember last week it was here on this platform when I came and gave an update. I said every state government has received its own share of the palliatives for onward distribution to the poor and vulnerable in their societies. And I still stand to be corrected on this. The palliatives we distributed are the palliatives we received from the Nigerian Customs Service, as well as the National Strategic Grains Reserves. This was what I said. There was nowhere where I said every Nigerian has received palliative. I think this is very unrealistic, because it's just impossible to give every Nigerian palliative. Even if we are to be given the whole budget of this country, it will just not go around. It will be grossly inadequate. So there's no way we will give every Nigerian palliative. Palliatives are meant for a special group of people. That is the poor and the vulnerable, people living with disabilities, and other special groups, not every Nigerian. I don't think you and I need palliatives. So let me on this let me close, by using a Hausa proverb with the permission of my brother, the Honorable Minister of Education of Environment, who is a guru in Hausa proverbs, by saying that idan mafaɗin magana wawa ne, majiyin magana ba wawa bane. And I think Nigerians are better informed. They cannot be deceived with this kind of fake news. So please note that at no time have I ever said every Nigerian has received a palliative. This is just in the imagination of rumor mongers. The ministry's mandate is very clear, It is to provide humanitarian assistance to the most vulnerable in our society, help with the mitigation of disasters, while establishing social safety nets that help us build resilience for the future. And as the pandemic continues, we remain resolute in the discharge of our responsibilities and mandate, and the ministry will not be deterred nor distracted by rumors and innuendos. Thank you very much for your attention.